College Football 25 comes out for the first time in over 10 years, and it seems like they've taken 10 years of ideas and new things and brought them to life in what we're seeing in this first initial part of the game. Some of the releases have started to come out. We have the date that it's coming out on July 19th. You can get it 3 days early, July 16th, but there's some really unique factors to this that I think are going to change everything. Let's get into it. First things first, they're talking about stick work. I've already seen some highlights of people hurdling people, sidestepping, and everything in between, and that's something that I've really struggled with Madden in the last few years. Yes, you can get sticky, you can stutter and this and that, but you can really only do things north and south. College Football 25 is bringing a whole new element into it where you can go east and west. Running backs are going to have different archetypes, different run styles, and we don't have all the details yet, but I'm really excited to see how this plays out because, as you know, college game, wider hashes, the run game and inside zone game with the cutbacks is even more important than college, especially out of the gun than it is in the NFL. And I'm going to be running these shit out of the ball using this. I'm excited to see how it plays out. And this is one of the first things that I looked at. I'm like, there's going to be play calling implications with this that we need to take into account. The next thing we're seeing is wear and tear. Every hit matters. Every throw that a quarterback has matters. Every hit stick, I'm assuming on defense matters. And again, we don't have all of the details, but when you're talking about dynasty, you're going to have to take all these things into account and play styles, and it sounds like they will affect from play to play and from game to game, which means week to week. If you give your running back 40 rushes in a game one week and you think you're going to go and turn around and give him 40 rushes in the next week, that's probably not going to fly, and he probably won't make it through the season. So roster management, game play style, it's going to be really reflective of what you see on Saturdays, and wear and tear is a feature that I'm really looking forward to seeing how it plays out because, again, we see guys that run the same plays over and over and over. They exploit things, but this feature, that should cut out a lot of that. It's also important to note that the devs made it very clear. Covering the ball when you're going down is going to be important. Running out of bounds and not taking big hits to get extra yards is going to be important. There's a lot of stuff, and all 22 players on the field are going to experience the wear and tear. So maybe you'll just find yourself late in the fourth quarter not trying to run up the score. Maybe you'll be subbing players out. I don't know. Maybe you're going to be going for Heismans. All I know is that when I get into Dynasty, I'm trying to win championships, and Heismans are great, but I'm going to take all of that into account. The craziest part about this is the wear and tear goes all the way down to the limbs. If you have a quarterback and he takes a big hit on his right arm, right shoulder, his accuracy and his throw power will go down. This is significant. This is going to change everything. A running back, if he takes a hit to the ankle, rolls it up, he's not going to be as agile. They really thought about a lot, and you can see that the 10 years of a hiatus with this title is going to make a big difference in this game, and I really hope that Madden takes notes because these are the types of things that bring realism into the game that I just love. One more important part to note that goes along with this wear and tear is fatigue. Fatigue is entirely different. Fatigue comes down to the conditioning of the players. So if you have a running back that gets 3 carries and he takes a play out to catch his breath, he'll come back in and he won't be fatigued for the rest of the game. It's going to be way more likely that he gets fatigued on a play-by-play basis than versus a whole game. You've seen it in Madden where guys at the end of the game can't even run, they can't do anything. That's not going to happen in college football, but you will have to account for it when you're in a hurry-up offense, when you're running a lot of inside zones, spitting out a lot of bubbles. All of that matters, but it's going to be a little bit more strategic than it has been in the past. One thing we all love about college football is the crazy plays. Something you don't see a lot in the NFL is the option game. Something you still see in college. The option game is back, and there's some nuances to it. You can now pitch, you can fake pitches, you can be running down the sideline, turn into a regular runner with regular ball carrier moves as a quarterback, and you can pitch it late. There's a lot of different ways that this will come into play. I know I used to play with Oregon back in NCAA 14. I'm excited to add all of these nuances into my new play style, in my new scheme, and bring them back to life. There's also a flip side to this. The defenses are smarter. They have new AI technology that allows them to read situational football. If it's 4th and a yard, they'll be more likely to collapse on the dive. If they're playing the wider hashes, they'll be more ready to stay at home, play the pitch, play the QB. They're getting smarter, and I love that EA accounted for this. We'll see how it plays out in the gameplay, but I like that they're thinking about the push and pull of what happens on offense and how they react on defense. Also important to note on the defensive side of the ball, there's no more base aligning, but there's shells, and this is what happens in real football. If a team is playing cover 3 and they don't want to show a pre-snap, they'll show a cover 4 or a cover 2 shell. We call them shells. Vice versa, if you're playing cover 0 and you don't want to pick a fence across the top of the board, you're going to be able to go into a 1 high. But what does this mean for the offense? That means guys are going to be out of position if they're trying to align in different shells, which is a real competitive advantage in real football. So I love that the developers are starting to see the game and display the game for us in these new games in ways that it's done in real life. They're starting to bridge the gap, and this is a really good sign. Now look, One thing that I'm a little skeptical about, but also kind of excited about, is the addition of abilities in college football. These did not exist before. College football did leave the X factors out of the game, but there'll be 80 new abilities, a majority of which are completely new to the gaming space. These abilities will be situational, and there will be no guarantees. They'll also be categorized into two groups, physical and mental. Then there'll be a few different tiers, bronze, silver, gold, platinum. The physical abilities will be determined by the archetype, and the mental abilities will be determined by the position of the player. So this is entirely new to the game. We'll find out more when the game releases, but this is something. It feels kind of like they're bridging the gap with a little bit of 2K in this. I like it, especially when it comes to online gameplay. I'm excited to see how this transitions into the game and how they bring this to life. EA also took the liberty to add in some pre-snap recognition that changes based on if you're a freshman or a senior player. They also brought in confidence and composure, which if you're playing in a big game, things will matter, things will change. Is it a rivalry? Is it home? Is it away? All these things seem to be mattering in this new version of College Football 25. And what they're telling us is that freshmen will have more volatile swings. Maybe they'll miss some throws. Maybe they'll just, I don't know, it up. We'll find out. And maybe seniors that have been there and done that are going to be able to control the football better. Maybe not fumble as much. Maybe not run wrong routes. We don't know exactly what these implications are going to be, but confidence and composure will be a part of the game. We'll see how it goes. One thing I do love and also hate at the same time, the home field advantage. There will be a stadium pulse. When it's loud, the screen will be shaking. When you're on defense, you're going to get an advantage when you're at home. That's a part of the game. It's going to be harder to see the routes. I like that they're bringing this to the table because in college football, even more so than the NFL, home field advantage matters. I remember going to Oregon, playing a night game when I was at the University of Virginia, and that stadium was rocking. It was hard to hear the play call coming in. It was hard to audible. It was just a hard operation in general, and that's real. And I love that they brought that back to the game. Now let's get to my absolute favorite part, the pre-play controls. You guys know how I play Madden. I'm bringing all of this to life in NCAA, and my favorite thing that they did are hot routes now have 12 unique routes. No longer are you stuck with a couple routes, handful of routes. They added in the new Bang 8, basically like a timing post route, allows you to rip across the middle of the field. Having an advanced wide receiver tree is real. It's real life. You don't have to worry about having hot route master like you do in Madden to be able to get your corner routes, get your posts, get all this and that. I like that they added that, and you do not need an ability. I hate that you need an ability for that in Madden. Hopefully, this is a sign of something good to come, that they took it out of Madden for when it drops in the fall, but at least we know that College Football 25, you'll have a lot of realism. You'll be able to do exactly what you want to do on offense. You'll be able to read the defense and make adjustments. Look, man, how many times have we seen college quarterbacks give a little signal here and there to a guy that he's running a stop and go, running a post, running a corner, whatever? No need to worry. It's in the game. Also, on the flip side of that, when we talk about the defensive adjustments, one note from the dev notes was that they decreased the risk factor associated with run committing. They toned it down. Traditionally, risking conceded a touchdown, which they're admitting is what happens in Madden on the other side of things. Now, it only affects the defenders in the box. Is it a 7-man box? It's the D-linemen, the linebackers. You're not going to get corners and safeties just running to God's country to go cover nobody in no man's land. They're going to still respond to their responsibilities, but what this means is you're going to be able to really be strategic on your play action game. Are you going to have PA read, PA crossers, whatever it may be? If they run commit and you run PA crossers on a 3rd and 1, you might get some open guys. Also, you might get sacked. There's going to be a real chess match going on with College Football 25, and I cannot wait to be a part of it. And holy I just noticed one thing. They're introducing custom stems that allow you to change the distance of the receiver's hot route. While hot routing, you can press and hold the left bumper or L1 to start adjusting. You can move it by a single yard. You can adjust it in 5-yard increments. You can see the route update in real time. This is going to be crazy. We've been able to do this in Madden for a long time on the hot out routes, where you take a 5-yard out route, turn it into an out route that runs to the sticks. But now, what if you don't want a route to run to the sticks? What if it's 3rd and 18 and you're just trying to get half of it and you want a little 12-yard out route? You're going to be able to do that now. And that changes everything for a guy like me that plays Madden the way I do, that will be playing college football the way that I play Madden with a little bit of nuance. I cannot wait to see all of these little adjustments that are real. This really happens in real football, and they're finally allowing us to pull it out to life. And this is going to be really good. And just when I thought it couldn't get any better, we have revamped passing, and please, for the love of God, Madden, follow their lead on this, because this is so good. At quarterback, the main objective in the pass game was to hone the art of layering the football. So what you're telling me is you're going to be able to throw over defenders across the middle of the field without always risking it getting intercepted by a linebacker that's going to jump 12 feet in the sky. I love hearing that. That means you're going to be able to drop the ball in the bucket to your tight end between the linebacker and free safety. You're going to be able to throw a bullet on a 12-yard out route. Love that. The new trajectory, Changes really allow you to throw the receiver open. Boy, does that sound like it's going to be dangerous. And I can't wait. I can't wait to hit the back shoulders on the seam. I can't wait to stop a corner route, throw it behind him when he ends up running into a cover 3 corner that's going to be falling off of the go route that's clearing out. I love this. I want to be able to throw the ball wherever I want, whenever I want, and let me make my risky throws because I feel like I deserve that. They've changed everything in the passing mechanics. They increased the variance of the left stick pass lead intent, changed the inaccuracy mislocations, overhauled the passing trajectories, all of it. They also changed the concept of throw power, which I'm really excited for. This doesn't mean the distance of the throw anymore, which was my biggest problem with the passing mechanics in Madden for all these years. The cool thing about all of this too is as you're starting to mess with bullet passes and loft passes and all this and that, accuracy is going to fall off a little bit, and that's how it should be. If you're trying to throw the ball as hard as you possibly can on a slant, that should be a problem. People don't do that. People don't throw 2-yard routes as hard as they can when they're crossing and across the middle of the field. One thing that they talked about was that at the start of a pass, you'll notice 3 colors: blue, yellow, and red. The sizes of these sections depend on your quarterback's attributes, abilities, the throw distance, and other factors that impact accuracy, such as being pressured on the back foot, on the run, all of it. Landing in the blue increases the chances of a safe, accurate ball, while landing in the yellow could mean a little bit more uncertainty. Red areas indicate potential inaccuracy. The longer you stay in the red, the greater the penalty. Quarterbacks with weaker arms or worse accuracy have larger red sections. I like this. Let me feel like when I'm throwing the ball in college football 25, that it's like I'm playing FIFA on a penalty kick. That's what I want. When I play FIFA, I feel like I can put the ball wherever I want. If I have a really good player, if I have a not so good player, it's a little harder to put the ball exactly where I want. That's how passing should be. Passing should have never been this touch and ball goes, touch and ball goes. Give me a dynamic passing experience, and that's what it sounds like college football is doing. Oh, I don't want to get too excited, but I like where this is heading. Now look, offense is getting this revamped. They're getting a lot of new things. What were they going to do on the defensive side to combat this? The switch stick. I am so excited for this. As you're playing as a defender, you're going to be able to flick the right stick in the direction of the closest defender that you want to switch to, and you're going to be able to pull off of cover 3 zones. You're going to be able to pull off when you have a linebacker playing hook and you want to get to a corner that you need to fall off. You're going to be able to lurk different. You're going to be able to directionally change who you want to play at on defense. You're going to be able to lurk those crossers. You're going to be able to stop the comebacks, corners, all of it. This is going to be big. Look, you're not going to be caught on the defensive line when you're trying to get into coverage anymore. That's done. And this also applies to the D lineman. When you're in a pass rush situation, you'll be able to press the left stick plus B or O to switch directionally. The other part about this is the hit stick. Once the quarterback has thrown the ball across the line of scrimmage, the right stick turns back into a hit stick. I love these things. It allows for a true user experience. I'm tired of not being able to user exactly how I want to, and I'm just praying time and time again that they take all of these changes that they're trying to implement into college football 25 and pull them back over to Madden, because we need a user experience where it's not just about animations, any of that other crap. Let me go user on user and see if I can outsmart you in a game of 3D moving chess. That's what I want out of a football game. And now look, there's a lot of other changes that are going on, but as far as gameplay, those are the core ones. I'm so excited about them, and I really hope that this sets the stage for each year after this to just be built upon and improved and bring us more close to a user gaming experience where we can control exactly how we want to, make the players do what we want them to do, and let us play ball. Let's go head to head and see who's the better user, who's the better play caller, who's the better schemer and game manager, and that's what I love. And now with that though, you have a lot of other new stuff. You have the playbooks, team styles. There's over 1,500 new plays in more than 50 different formations. College football has, yes, changed in the last 10 years, and it will be reflected in the playbooks and the team styles you're able to use. You've got everything from air raid to multiple to pistol to power spread, option, pro, run and shoot, you have it all. And every team, all 134 playbooks will be different. They will be custom to how they are run right now, and I cannot wait to see it come to life. You got the RPOs now, you got the options, you got the glance RPO, you got a lot of new stuff that has been done in Madden to start that I can't wait to see how it actually plays out in college football. And remember, these things will work even better in college football because of the hashes. If you did not know, the hashes in college football, where the ball is placed horizontally, are wider. That means if the ball is on the right hash, the field from the right hash to the left out of bounds is a lot wider. Speed kills in college football. RPOs kill in college football, and you're going to be able to exploit that. So remember that when you're calling your plays and how you're aligning guys and moving them in and out of the boundary or to the field. Another cool change is the difference between no huddle and turbo. Turbo will be rapid rush to the line, kind of the blur offenses at Oregon where you get up, you run a quick zone, you run a quick stick, you run a quick game, whatever, get back as quick as you can. You will still have the no huddle tempo allowed as well, where you can get up to the line of scrimmage, scrimmage, coordinate, call a play, but I like that they added this because this was a problem in college. It's hard to stop, especially when you get a big gain, you want to get back down. If you get to 3rd and 1 after a 2nd and 9 completion, do you want to get back on, run a quick zone, get ready before the defense can adjust? There are a lot of easy first downs to be had in college football, and I like this turbo mode because it's realistic. It happens. Now look, the other thing that I think these games have been missing out on for a very long time is the real influence of the defensive line and the way that you can protect yourself with your offensive line. And from these notes, I'm seeing in the trenches, they're saying that they know championships are won in the trenches. If your offensive line can't hold up, nothing else matters. This year, their primary emphasis up front was showing what true game wreckers look and feel like. There's more to the game than just sacking the quarterback. Great defensive linemen can dominate inside by just using their size and strength advantage to create consistent pressures and manipulating the pocket. With that, a new pass protection mechanic has been added, which provides 6 pass protection targeting schemes. That's big time because in the NFL, there's a lot of different ways to protect. In college, there's a little less ways to protect, but there's still more ways to protect than they typically gave you. For instance, you can do a 4-man slide. You can do a 3-man slide. These are real, right? Like those are the things you can really do in real life. I don't have all of the details on what those mechanics will look like, but I'd imagine if you wanted a double team, you can do that. Say you have 5 people and you want these 4 to slide left, him to go solo, and maybe a running back come up and fill in the gap. There's a lot of different ways to handle pressure, especially when you have a game wrecker in the game, a defensive end, maybe a linebacker that stands up and comes up and plays on the edge. I'm just happy that they're giving us more of a toolbox to manage the pressure and also take advantage of it on defense, because the defensive line game in the NFL and in college is not just about who has an X factor. It's a chess match. I'm excited for that chess match. Bring it on. Let's go. Now look, as we're nearing to the end of this video, if you're enjoying it, definitely like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this style of video because I want to do more of these as we go forward. There's a lot of news to cover, and with 2 games coming out, I want you guys to have more reason to come back to the channel. Besides just learning real football, let's talk about the game. And another new thing in this game, kickers. The distance of the kick, along with the kicker's ratings, will decide the green and yellow regions of the meter. That means the longer the kick, with lower rated kickers, there'll be smaller green zones, making the kick more challenging. It adds a little bit of element of strategy to your game, and you have to consider your kicker's ability before making or attempting a long distance kick. They also added in the idea of over kicking. Maybe your kicker's range is 48, but you need him to hit a 52-yarder. You can risk over kicking and kicking it harder, but it'll come potentially at a lack of accuracy. So kicking's got a little bit of a revamp. Kicking wins games. It is what it is. I just love new. I love all the new that this game has, and I'm excited for it. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for, the kneel down. If you guys know me, you know that my only 2 snaps in my NFL career came on a kneel down, and the victory formation has finally received a much needed update. When the game is mathematically over, you can take 1 knee and the game will simulate to the end, and you don't have to take the 2, 3, 4 knees. Can't really take 4 knees. Your 2, 3 knees. It will skip it. It will sim it. Your players will come onto the field and the game will be over. And I love that. I love that they're being smart about how they're saving us time so you can re-queue a little bit quicker and get back into the game. And that about does it. I'm excited. The dev team did a really good job. And again, regardless of how clean or how buggy or whatever the game is, I love that they put this much thought into the realism of the game. I cannot wait to play College Football 25. I can't wait to see how that sets the stage for when Madden comes out a month later. I am really excited for this next phase of content around football games, and I'm glad you guys are here for it. Let's get to it. We'll be there right around the corner.